We're going to talk about Paxton. So Paxton won the primary. Paxton, he was able to take some time out of cheating on his wife to go get out the vote and get people to come vote for him. And likewise, Donald Trump also, I think, endorsed him. So this is going to be the opponent of Talarico, I think, in Texas for the Senate. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and watch this video. We'll see if we can figure out what we think is going to happen there. I'm a little mixed, I guess. I don't know. I do think that Talarico has a better chance than Crockett. However, I don't know if it's a good enough chance to actually win in Texas. But maybe this video will convince me one way or the other.
This was unthinkable even just maybe 2 weeks ago for some Republicans.
Yeah, Paxton was running a little bit ahead here, but a little bit ahead. And then when Donald Trump showed up, it changed everything. Now, if you go back to the primary results, Cornyn actually narrowly won more votes in the primary, but there was a third person in the race, a guy named Wesley Hunt. And obviously, those Wesley Hunt voters didn't want to vote for Cornyn. And most of those, obviously.
Has he always had that accent? I didn't know he was a good old boy. I always thought he talked like, I don't know, I didn't think he really had like a Southern accent, but I don't know, maybe he did. Or maybe he's just putting it on for this particular segment.
Wesley Hunt. And obviously, those Wesley Hunt voters didn't want to vote for Cornyn. And most of those obviously have gone to Paxton. But look, the bottom line is this. If Donald Trump wants you to be the nominee of the Republican Party for virtually any office, he can will it into existence. And that has happened again tonight in Texas. There's also an attorney general campaign going on underneath this. I don't think we've called it yet, but there's a strong undercurrent of who's for Trump and who isn't in that race. And it looks like the more Trump-aligned candidate is going to win down there as well. So, we're learning this lesson over and over again. Indiana, Louisiana, Kentucky, where I live, and now Texas, over and over again, we're learning. If Donald Trump wants you to have the party's nomination, the voters look at that and say, we trust the president's judgment, and we'll give it to you.
But, Paul, I should note, when we're hearing...
Yeah, it definitely is still Trump's party. I don't know. Maybe, are there people out there who are saying, that, MAGA is, Trump is historically unpopular, but it's not amongst MAGA. It's not amongst the people who would be likely Republican voters. He's unpopular with independents. He's unpopular with, maybe, liberal-leaning Republicans, people who aren't MAGA, Kool-Aid drinkers, but he is still incredibly popular for the base. And I think he will continue to be incredibly popular until he either dies or is completely politically irrelevant, like almost dead, basically. Because he's so old, that it's basically dead or senile at this point after he gets out of office. So I think that he still has a stranglehold on the party. And I haven't heard people really claiming differently than that, but maybe some people have been.
This tonight about the concerns of what this general election matchup is going to look like. It's not coming from Democrats or just critics of the president. It's coming from Republicans in his own party who are up on Capitol Hill that are worried about it.
Right, because they can count. Trump makes you unbeatable in the primary, but it could make you unelectable in the general. We're talking about Texas Senate seat up. King referred to this, and he's generally wrong about everything. He's a horrible.
Okay. Maybe. I don't think that Trump's decision actually impacts that much when it comes to the general necessarily, insofar as I think it has an effect in insofar as he picks bad candidates or people who are Paxton is not a good candidate. I'm going to be honest. Paxton is not a good candidate. He has so much baggage. He is he has so much personal issues, personal issues. I think he's also been involved in some fraud stuff. And also I think that he's potentially tied to some stop the steal stuff as well. All of this stuff makes him not a very good candidate. Cornyn is the better candidate for the Republicans if they want to win the primary. But I don't think that Trump has this stink of death on him when it comes to picking a candidate necessarily. I just think he tends to pick the worst candidate or the candidate that will do worse in the general because that person is more loyal and aligned with him, but will just often be a worse candidate. For instance, like that guy who beat Massey, the CIA looking dude. Like, I don't think that guy is necessarily like a bad candidate, and he was picked by Donald Trump or whatever. Like, and I think that like he will have just as easy of a time winning in the general as Massey would have or whatever. I can't remember if that was even a primary or if that was just like for the actual seat, but you know what I'm saying though. I don't think that I just don't think that it's like a if Trump picks it, then it's automatically bad. I just think he tends to pick bad candidates.
He's right about this. My party, Democrats, haven't won anything in Texas in 32 years. They haven't won a Senate seat in 38 years. They haven't won a governorship in 36 years. They haven't carried a presidential candidate in Texas for 50 years. And we're sitting here saying that Texas is up for grabs, in part because the Democrats nominated a very strong candidate, James Talarico, who in the polling right now is 11 points above water. His popularity is very high. Mr. Trump, beloved by Republicans in Texas, the bloom is off the rose on that. He's underwater, even in my beloved Texas. Underwater, more unpopular than he is popular in the polling. So this is the problem that Republicans are going to have now in a state that all they had to do was fog a mirror and they won Texas. And now they're going to have to fight like hell and spend hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, I mean, Ken Paxton is someone who has been MAGA aligned. He is someone who, way before Trump, was suing the Obama administration many times. He actually, I mean, yes, he's been indicted and then had the charges dropped. He was impeached and acquitted. He's never lost an election that he's run, I don't believe, during his political career.
But he's also not an establishment type of candidate. What's interesting here is that John Cornyn knows how to fundraise.
That's another thing. People are still looking for anti-establishment candidates generally. So Ken Paxton, for that reason alone, might get more independent / like liberal leaning conservatives on board, like just for that reason, like that he's not the incumbent. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit like of a mixed bag when it comes to that.
He knows how to do the things that an establishment Texan would do. Ken Paxton was not able to raise in this race, and he does not have.
And when it comes to Republicans, none of them are actually anti-establishment. They are just, they don the aesthetic of anti-establishment. And I think that Ken Paxton probably does that a little bit more than John Cornyn.
A lot of money right now. I have to admit that tonight, while Talarico is not on the ballot, my guess is Talarico will likely raise more money tonight than Ken Paxton will in a red state. And it is interesting because the Republican resources will need to come in heavily in a state like Texas, and those are resources that they're not going to be spending anywhere else. Talarico is well funded. Talarico will continue to raise money, but it's interesting to me that now Republicans have to worry about deep red Texas because they have a flawed candidate who does not know how to raise. And you're now seeing that currently play out.
All these analysis of this race is sort of the differences between what a Cornyn or a Paxton would look like here. I'm thinking about the differences between Talarico and literally every other Texan. Don't know any Texans who believe in 6 genders other than Talarico.
Dude.
Don't know
this dude is such a fucking dork. Dude, who cares? Who cares about 6 genders? Who cares about, I don't know, like fucking... like God is non-binary or whatever the fuck. Like, who gives a shit? That doesn't matter. Like, people are dying on the fucking streets from like homelessness. Like, they can't afford like their medical bills. There's a cost of living crisis across the entire country where people aren't able to, like just can't like live, man. And I think that this stuff is going to become incredibly like a not good message, like not good messaging. If they keep talking about the trans shit over and over again while Talarico is out there like being like, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to lower the cost of your electricity. I'm going to help. I'm going to build some new houses, like housing, so that the prices will come down a little bit and people can have like lower mortgages. I'm going to offer people, I don't know, like free childcare or whatever. Like steal that one from Zoran. I don't care. Like if you're talking about that and they're like, but he said that God has 6 genders. It's like you're gonna look fucking stupid stupid. Like they need to like. I mean, I just hope that Talarico can, you know, get a good message, like economic affordability message out there, and like it's like specific key policy proposals that he wants to implement. He needs to get those out there. I don't know if he already has. I haven't been following him super closely, but he needs to get those out there so that all of this like you know, trans panic bullshit just doesn't stick or whatever. Because the problem with the Kamala Harris campaign was that they did not define themselves, and they did not define themselves, so they let the Republicans define them. And Talarico can't let that happen. He has to go out there and define himself for the people, if he hasn't already, by clear, concise, like things that he will do, like try to do to like help his constituents, like what he will fight for in the Senate that will help people. I guess I was thinking more from a mayor perspective before, because I was thinking of like how Zoran can campaign, but like what he will fight for in the Senate that will help people's like material conditions in their lives. That's what he has to do, because this shit will sound so silly if he does that.
Any Texans who said it's immoral to eat meat, other than Talarico. Don't know any Texans who walk around saying things, you know, God is non-binary. You all are both Texans. Do you know any other Texan who even talks like that?
I'm sure there are plenty, by the way. I am also sure that there are plenty. There are plenty of progressive people in Texas. They're just, you know, in the city. Like they don't live in your fucking like suburban sprawl, like, I don't know, places or whatever. They just they live in, you know, the city. That's probably where a lot of the people that he's talking about live.
At issues aside, who says these things out loud? When this gets adjudicated, all that money coming in from California and New York, it'll be well spent in Texas.
You know what I'm smelling, Scott? Fear.
Yeah.
Panic. Raw stink.
I would agree. I would kind of agree. If that's what your messaging is, well, maybe not fear, like, I don't know. That's just like a messaging campaign, I guess. Maybe it's not fear necessarily, but it is like stupid bullshit messaging, like nonsensical, doesn't matter, who cares messaging. Don't get me wrong, that does work with a lot of people if you don't have a counter message that overpowers their silly you know, bullshit that they're talking about.
You guys
Fear
are
of a
on this.
cisgender
You
guy?
are on this. He's more popular than Trump in Texas,
Can
brother.
you explain his position?
He cited a biological study. It's not his position. He cited a study.
So you're for it.
So
you believe in
you know what I'm
cisgenders.
not for? I'm not for $6.89 hamburger. Okay, James.
Who
actually
cares?
eats beef,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
But he can afford to. Most
See, this is good. This is good messaging. Being like, I don't give a shit about cisgender. Talk to me about $6 a pound meat. That's what everybody actually cares about. If you do that, then even a lot of hogs are going to be like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I do want that meat price to come down. You know, like I think that's a good message.
Texans can't anymore. Now, Ken Paxton can, because on a government salary, he's become a millionaire. How does that happen? He can afford hamburger. This is what it's going to be about. You want it to be about woke. I want it to be about broke.
No, I want it to
Let's
be
see.
about
Let's see what.
judgment. I want it to be
let's
about,
see.
are you a normal
You just
person?
smell the fear.
Are you a normal person?
It's just
Six
panic.
genders and no meat.
What I
in
will
Texas?
say is
It's terror. They're so afraid.
Scott is melting down, but that is like the Republican Party right now.
You guys
have
endorsing the genders is amazing.
You have a
Dude, it's like, but this is what happens though when you do talk about how like stupid and silly this messaging is. These people, they can't deal with it. They don't know how to deal with it. If you actually do just like constantly be like, I don't care about that. Who cares? That's what your answer should always be when they say this stuff. The first two words that come out of your mouth should be, who cares? That is stupid. Who cares? Who cares? Like, seriously. And then you just go into your normal spiel about like what you're going to do to try to lower prices or whatever. Like, that's how you got a message around this.